What have you got?
Jukes. I see someone, but I don't think they're alive.
This house is clean.
Jumpy.
Another dead zone. The only thing alive in here is the smell.
They're not coming back.
Well, if you're gonna ride out the apocalypse, no better way to do it than with some castles and crusades.
Hey, you too. Take only what you need.
Today's story comes to us from r/RPG Horror Stories. This is a story from about 15 years ago. I was GMing a game of Castles and Crusades. One player had a true neutral druid. The story involved the players investigating who was behind a sudden rash of goblin raids against a previously peaceful farming village, and if possible, put a stop to future raids. After a fight with a goblin raiding party, one goblin was still alive and had surrendered. The players questioned the goblin about who was coordinating the raids, but it soon became clear that he was just a lowly grunt with no real knowledge of the higher-ups. However, this is when the druid decided that he didn't believe the goblin. With the goblin tied up, he announced that he was getting his knife. "I'm going to make him talk," he said with a certain glee. He then threatened the goblin if he didn't reveal the commanding mastermind. I announced that the goblin was scared, but repeated in a cowering voice that he was ignorant of such things. Okay, he had his chance, the player said, and started to go into a graphic description of... I told him the goblin was screaming, but didn't reveal anything useful amidst his screams. The player, still convinced that he was hiding something, started to graphically At this point, it was clear that the other players were getting a little uncomfortable about the player's apparent sadistic glee in the graphic descriptions of torture. At that point, I stepped in and said, add evil to your alignment. By the way, an alignment change like that is going to result in you losing your druidic powers. That's when the player lost it. He said that since goblins were evil, according to the monster manual, it was okay to torture them for the greater good. Furthermore, he argued, true neutral simply meant that he could do anything, good or evil, to get the job done. Evil alignments, according to him, meant that evil acts were committed only for sheer pleasure. I stood firm and insisted that he had committed an evil act and the alignment change was justified. I then told him if we were to play any more games together, he would have to tone down the graphic torture scenes because it was creeping me out a little. That got him even angrier, and he accused me of implying that he didn't know the difference between fantasy and reality, i.e. everything in the game was just fantasy, so any content should be okay. That ended up being the last game I GM'd for the group. I ended up leaving the group not too long after for not altogether unrelated reasons.
Of course, yeah. You know me, just swearing up a storm.
Out of control. Troll Lord Games, join the
What I was
fray.
saying earlier really wasn't cool.
It wasn't, or was it?
Mm-mm.
Hello, everyone. We are here.
Hello!
Welcome to the fray.
What we all
Hey!
should have done is like just changed clothes super quickly
That would have been
so
funny.
that it looked like it didn't just show us.
Sequin suits.
Yeah, now we're
Sequence
talking.
suits.
Dude, who's wearing bell bottoms to GaryCon?
Oh my god.
You are. You're
You
probably
are.
the only. Okay.
Grace will
I'm
be
wearing
there,
bell
dude.
bottoms right now.
Yeah, Are you?
These
Are you
pants
really?
are
But have
Yeah.
you seen?
That's awesome.
Have you seen Davis's bell bottoms?
No.
They're
You haven't. I will post a pic in the
Enormous.
team chat here in just a little bit.
like he
I
could
have a pic.
wrap the opening. He could wrap that around a trash bin. They're so damn big.
That's the way to do them, though.
They could serve as a bin liner.
They're cool, man. I love them.
Are you?
There's-
So you're saying effectively his clothes look like trash, but in a good way.
They're certainly a statement piece.
I've heard that a lot.
Hell
in
yeah.
my life.
And you had, what was it? You had the pants. You had like a funny hat, like a little hat, and you had like there was some kind of funky shirt you had on. What something going on with that too?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it's been a while.
You had like
Hey,
brass
Ryan.
buttons or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's sequins.
Well, was it sequins? Okay.
Yeah,
It was,
rhinestones. No, it was rhinestones.
was it rhinestones? There was a lot going on.
Incredible.
I just remember I walked by you and I was like, I see you've dressed yourself this morning.
Yeah. I have a rhinestone shirt, like with rhinestone buttons, that I wore in the 1980s, and it still looks really, really good. At
You got to
least.
bring it back.
Yeah. So,
You got to bring it
Alright.
back for 2520.
heck yeah.
25.
Well, I'll be there in my bell bottoms.
He's gonna fly there in his bell bottoms. He's just gonna let the wind catch him.
You know, him saying it now, I would laugh. But after last year, it was funny because he just showed up, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He just, "Oh yeah, I got these." And it's like, "Oh, okay." So first off, I'm Chuck Cumbo, Community Director for Trailer Games, and we are here with our staff, just kind of hanging out, and we're going to be talking about. We have a question pinned in the channel. But first, I want to welcome everybody over from Facebook and YouTube and here on Twitch. Good to see everybody. We do have a giveaway going on. We're going to be giving away, you just have to follow us over here on Twitch. Unfortunately, I can't do multiple platforms, but you can follow us over on Twitch. Grace, if you could pop that link in over there on Restream.
Yeah.
I did not prepare you for that, but I just realized I don't know where mine's at.
No, you're good.
But
The
if you
link-
follow us,
I'm so sorry. Which link?
the
The
Twitch link.
Twitch link?
Yeah, so they
Okay,
can follow.
sorry.
Yeah. You're good. We've worked all day.
buddies.
So, but anyway, we're giving away a $15 coupon and a $25 coupon, and then I'm going to give away something at the end of the stream for everybody that's here. I'm going to wait till the stream. I'm going to give you guys a free PDF off the store that you can go look at and check out. All right. So we're going to be talking about this question in the pin. Grace, if you want to introduce it to the chat, let's see what they say
Yeah.
first.
We've been discussing a lot of settings recently. So first part of this question is, what is your favorite place in the entire world? It can be your bathroom. It can be a private island off of the Maldives or some shit. I don't know. Go as big or as small as you want. And then the second part of that question is, have you used it or pulled from that to inspire your game or played in a setting that like felt similar?
The can. Gross.
I just try to like impart a sense of safety in my games, and I pull heavily from the bathroom. Although I guess that's kind of far from a safe environment, I guess.
When I was growing up as a kid,
Depending
we
on-
played this huge adventure from TSR called Under Toilet. It was crazy. It was a DLC for the Under Toilet. It was really crazy.
Stop it.
There's all these sewer pipes. Anyway,
Shut up. That's gross.
That's awesome.
it was ancient.
That's not real.
It's fantasy. You're correct.
Under
Next.
toilet? Come on.
I thought it was fun.
I think that's what
Grace laughed.
Undertale is based on.
Yeah.
Undertale, yeah.
Okay. Now,
Oh,
so you
mercy
guys
sakes.
laugh about this toilet thing, but it's actually serious.
That was a crappy module. So,
Oh,
all right,
no, no, no.
Sparky,
Was
what's
it?
your favorite place? You live in Arkansas.
What?
Yeah.
I asked Sparky what his favorite place was. He's not
Oh,
said
yeah.
yet. We want to hear from the chat, not these people.
Yeah.
British
yeah.
Two below
Isles.
us.
Ooh, Lando's place. My favorite place is Avebury Stone Circle in England and yes, I'm used to
Ooh.
in games. I have never heard of that.
Really? I got to go
Tell
look
us
that
about
up
it.
right now. Yeah, tell
Yeah.
us about it.
Eve.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I was there in 1098.
Was it October of 1998?
Oh, wow.
From 1910 to 1998.
Yeah, that was a long time.
So it's the Stonehenge that's real popular as far as like how it's laid out.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Avebury Stone Circle?
Rumors
Avebury.
are that there's a UFO buried underneath that. I don't know if that's true.
Wait, I don't think that's... No, that's not Stonehenge.
But it's like Stonehenge where
It's
it
like
has
It's a line of... Yeah, Stonehenge is in Scotland, isn't it?
Stonehenge is in
I
the
didn't-
Stonehenge.
No, it's in England.
Is it in England? I don't know where it
It's
is.
outside of London, isn't it? I mean, London's like
In it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It's
When
outside of London, in it.
I know. I love Grandfather Mountain. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. We go over there a
Stonehenge
lot.
is south of Bristol.
I don't even know what Grandfather Mountain is. I'm googling that crap.
It's
right
awesome,
now.
man. It's awesome.
Ooh,
They've got a
Grandfather
big Civil
Mountain.
War field right below it, down below Chickamauga. It's this big mountain.
Oh, it's where Chickamauga was fought.
Sort of. This is over North Carolina. I was actually thinking of Little Rock City. Sorry, my bad. Got mixed
This
up in my
looks
head.
beautiful.
But yeah. Ho Rainforest,
When
Washington.
you say the British Isles, someone commented on the British Isles. What do you mean by the British Isles? Like
Like in
like
the
north
grocery
and
store.
Scotland, or just the whole of Britain, the island of Britain? What does the Isles actually refer to? I've heard it my whole life, but I've never actually specifically said it. What is the British Isles actually?
The grocery store.
The grocery store.
The aisles.
Well, that time it gets a laugh.
Oh, wait. There is, in Cincinnati, there's a store. Who knows the grocery store in Cincinnati? That Trader, not it has the big giraffes and animals out front. Anyway, it has food from around the world, right? And they have a British aisle that's just all British food.
That's
Which
funny.
Which looks all like curdled blood or something like that. But anyway.
Curdled blood. My favorite product that I've ever seen in a
Oh.
grocery store is spotted dick. And it's a British food because of course it is.
It's a real one. It's real.
Comes in a can.
They eat like the Germans are still bombing them. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like you guys are fine. You know that, right? Like open
You
your
need-
eyes.
You
You
need
come
something
out
to
from the
send
bunker, you know.
Just
Tower,
ask. We'll send it.
Tower Tome says the French Alps, Blanc. That sounds pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah,
French
that's
Alps.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen. So I have had a gift from the gods. It is known as it's coming to me. It is known as Jungle Gems International Market.
General
Hmm.
Jams.
Jungle Gems International Market.
Jungle.
Jungle
Sorry.
Gym, like
Jungle.
JIM.
JIM, like Jim, like howdy, and jungle as in inclinade. International as in the
Jungle
world.
Gems.
Market is in a
for-
place to shop.
Oh, that's like an
Thank you.
international.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Thank you for that breakdown.
It's like a grocery store with like a really weird selection.
Hey,
of that.
Davis, did you
Oh
hear what I
my
said?
god.
What? No. I was reading the chat. Sorry.
Jungle
This is
Gems
like the
International
rainforest.
Market.
This
Yeah,
is
but
like
it's a,
What?
this is like the rainforest cafe of
but a
What's the-
grocery store.
What's
Yeah,
the point, Steve?
Wait.
Anyway,
What's the name of it?
Jungle
Jungle
Gym.
Gems
Jungle Gems,
International
Jungle Gems.
Market.
Yes. I stayed in a hotel like 6 blocks from Jungle Gyms. I went there every single freaking day while I was
Oh,
there.
my
I went
God.
That sounds
for
awesome.
5 months. That place was staggeringly good. Man, there are so many different types of cheeses, and just like I could not imagine that there's that much stuff in the world. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good place though. I
Places
assume
that
it's
have
still
like
open.
international cheeses, I'm on board.
Oh, it had it had a lot of cheeses. And what else did I see? I can't remember. It was jams from around the world or something like that. They had a jam aisle, like
Mm,
1,000 jams, and I'm like, seriously? How
fuck
can you
me
even?
up with that.
Yeah, no, it was just
1,000 jams. That would be awesome.
Fuck me up with
actually.
those jams.
I love jams and jellies. My body doesn't, but I do.
Question: what is magic in your setting? How do you describe it?
Ooh.
That's fair. That's
Oh,
a super good question about Aird.
that's a hard one.
What is magic?
Are you wanting a mechanical description or how it would play out in the game as far as visually and it being experienced?
Or a historical description?
Yeah,
He
that's a
wants
good question too.
theophosical description.
Theosophy, yes.
Lore rather than gameplay, he says.
Oh,
It's a language, is it not?
For
It's like
Arabian and Zaya, it's a language. Yes. You know that you have to know the words to speak it out, to make it happen. There are some eccentricities to that as well, because the gods can get in Zaya. It's a little bit different. There are bloodlines in Zaya where you can cast. You don't cast spells like verbally. You just will them into being, and that would be like your classic cleric. But it's a bloodline. You have to be in the bloodline to do it. I take that back. Anyway, so yes, you have to know the words. Now, interestingly, I think though, I wish we were on here now. I think in Zaya, there's no such thing as music, right? There's no music at all. But in Air, there's music, so you can actually sing magic into being, right? You can make songs. And that's how you do some of the spells. But in Zaya, it's just like this monotone.
It's like
Magic happens.
like throat singing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like throat singing,
I love
which
throat
I
singing.
love. I love throat singing.
dude.
Like that scene in Dune
Uh,
where they're all getting painted with blood and there's a guy throat singing in the rain.
yeah. There's what is it? The Mongolian, Nepalese, Northern
They're
China.
Mongolian.
Huh?
Mongolian
Yes.
throat singers.
Yeah, but you get it from Northern China and Nepal as well. And there is a lady on, God, you can find her on TikTok occasionally. There's only a few posts because she doesn't do it like professionally or anything like that. But if you can find her doing her throat singing, oh my God. I mean, it is just amazing. Just this whatever person. She does a really good job. And then there's that one I sent you. It wasn't the Who that I sent. It was Ozark.
No,
Yeah, I can't remember Ozark.
me neither. It's in the
Yeah.
playlist.
Uh,
I'm gonna pull
but
up
there's
the
a lot. Yeah.
playlist. and
Gabriel
link
for
it.
20 said, in my setting, it's thought that one can empower with ceremonies, vocal and movements of the hands. An example, the point is diagrams and thoughts as if lines. Diagrams of thoughts as if lines.
Oh, that's sort of cool.
That does sound cool. What I appreciate about like the magic system in Aird, and this is just like how I've interpreted it from reading it, so this might not be correct, but it seems like there's an element of like whether you can or can't use the language of creation and cast magic. And it comes down to if you have like the anatomy to be able to even like say words.
Yes.
Enzea is a dragon. Enze is a
Yeah.
dragon. And like she has like a dragon beak and like can't
Yeah.
form the words.
Right. That's
So she knows it.
Yeah. So the for Isaiah specifically, and I can't speak to Kent because he runs it a little bit differently, but I'm pretty strict about it. So you have to be able to speak it, right? And everyone knows a little bit of it. Like, so you know how like just in everyday stuff you throw salt over your shoulder for good luck or something like that. So everyone knows a little bit of these protection words or something, just like a syllable or something like that. But to cast actual magic that has an effect, a big effect, you have to be able to speak the words. And not everyone can speak those words. You're just physically not capable of doing it. It takes years and years of practice. And if you screw it up,
Yeah.
the spell screws up and you can mess some stuff up. And here's
Like
another
learning any language, but with
right,
like,
exactly.
death consequences.
Yeah. So the sounds have to come out perfectly, right? So what happens when your wizard gets cut in the face or lips? They can't do it again. It's done. It's over. You know, lose a few teeth, it's over. So
Yeah.
there's a structural thing where I've built like wizards and the casters. They have to be very wary about getting into fights, you know, because if they get injured in such a way that they can't speak again, boom, there will be consequences to that.
Yeah. God, this image of this like NPC or character just rocketed into my brain. Like somebody that was like a great wizard, and then was like injured in the mouth, maybe punched in the face in a bar, like something stupid. And so dedicated all these years to like building himself a mechanical mouth that would let him still like do stuff. And so like just crazy looking.
That would work too. Oh,
Potentially, depending.
I just
yeah,
picture
depending. Yeah, but you can imagine though, like if they can't get healed or whatever, you know, through some other means, they would try the rest of their lives to try to fix that situation.
Yeah.
And it also just occurred to me, and this has never been done by anyone I've played with. Everyone would try to wear a bever or something like that. One of those like metal plates that cover the bottom of their face on a piece of armor. And just to protect their face from damage.
Ah, that'd be so cool. This like army of wizards with like these mouth plates.
Yeah.
I just picture wizard slayers or like people who like
hexatoters,
like inquisitors or something who go around and they just have like these bandoliers or these some kind of vestments that are just covered with petrified tongues that are just nailed to them that they've cut out of wizards that they've slain.
Oh, I've never thought about that.
Necklaces of teeth and like
dude, that's a badass idea because
horrifying.
You remember in Vakund, or it's either in the Vakund or Bear Cult, there's the hexatoters, right? The witch hunters. People who cast magic are considered witches, and they're hunted and killed, right? So there's another thing. When you're playing a wizard, you have to be very, very, very careful how you use your magic, right? Because there are people actually looking for you and they're trying to kill you. And it's a whole organization, a priestly organization that does this, right? Like Inquisitors. But I never thought about that, the whole taking a trophy thing.
Well, you wouldn't even need to kill them if you just cut out their tongue.
Yeah,
you could never cast another spell.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Well,
that would be a horrifying villain.
Here's the thing. Tower of Tomes on YouTube said, what about clerics? Do they need speech to cast divine spells?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because they're kind of prayers. But I know that some spells don't require verbal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
sometimes.
In an Aird, it's a combination of speech as well as whatever, moving your hands and stuff like that. And
somatic.
somatic and what's the material?
Material components.
Yeah.
Right.
So you need all three in air. Kent's pretty lenient about the material component.
I think we usually just give them a focus like a wand or a amulet or something to kind of. Now, I do have a rule of mine. If it's worth at least 100 gold pieces or more, that materials, then you have to have that or divvy up the 100 gold pieces immediately on the table.
Yeah. Now in air it works a little, or in Zaya it works a little differently. You can cast like, so if you're chosen by the gods, they're going to give you the power to cast spells. You don't have to do anything verbally. You just have to will it into being. You want that spell to go, it goes. That's it, 100%.
Well, in Zaya,
In Isaiah, howsoever, if you don't perform the proper rituals, like worshiping, tithing, you do something to offend the god, or you act in a way that offends the god, it goes away immediately. All of it. All of your stuff gets to go away. And then you have to go through this. I actually ran a game where the player had to go through a whole cleansing ritual that lasted something like a year of playtime as a cleansing ritual just to get her spell casting back because
That's
she did
awesome.
something that she wasn't supposed to do.
That's cool.
I have a question
Mhm.
for chat and everybody.
Mhm.
Like, what is I'm fascinated by this? What is like the single like world building or lore or narrative thing that you've ever done that you're like the most proud of?
Most proud of. Oh
Yeah.
man.
And why?
The grill to the wizard.
I'm a big fan of asking questions that I can't answer immediately. So
what was your?
Yeah.
Can you
I know
repeat that
that's
one more
gonna take
time?
some time.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear it. I'm sorry.
What lore or world building tidbit have you written or done or played or whatever that you're the most proud of?
If he doesn't say in Zaya, I'm gonna flip out.
Yeah,
You
actually,
can't say the whole world.
Yeah, like something specific, something
Oh.
about it that like makes it special.
I would say for me, so I was reading some Hindu mythology, and I can't remember what I was reading because it's been 10, 20, 35 years ago. And there's two pieces, Hindu and mythology around the Mekong River. But there was something about in this Hindu mythology, these sisters or Deva or something. There were 13 of them, and I was so struck by their stories that I incorporated them into Isaiah. And so one of the like inspirations for the entirety of like, especially for the humans, the entirety of the human race and how they work is based off these 13 sisters, the 13 Deva or something like that. I can't remember, but I was just so struck by their stories. But I can't remember, and I actually have a document with it all written up that I pulled from a notebook that I found where I originally wrote it, and I put it on the computer. I've lost the notebook, and now I can't find it on the computer. I have no idea where I wrote it up, but it has all their names, their histories, and their stories. That's a lot of, yeah.
That's cool.
But that inspired a lot. It was a foundational thing for Nzea. Then there's the Mekong River with the Nagas. That inspired a lot. Wow. And here's another one. Like Rothenburg, Germany. Has anyone been to Rothenburg, Germany?
I've heard about it. I've read about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we know of it.
If I'm pronouncing it correctly. That also informed literally when I think of my cities, like in my setting, at least for this part of the world, I think of Rothenburg, Germany. That's all I think of with the
So I can't help but notice you're listing sources of inspiration and ideas, but not ideas themselves.
Oh, well, okay. So the idea on the sisters was okay. So So all humans come from these 13 sisters. There's the maidens of pain and the maidens of solace, right? And then there's the maiden of justice. These are the mothers of mankind, 13 mothers of mankind. The father of mankind is Hildir, who is the one who slew the dragon. Well, he and his sister slew the dragon. His sister sacrificed herself to allow Hildir to throw the fireball down the dragon's throat and kill it, whatever. Anyway, and then
Is he a storm god?
no,
Okay.
no. He's just
Because
a
I'm
god.
getting whiffs of chaos conf.
No. He's just one of the most powerful of the first one. Okay, and his sister Tovdir, she sacrifices herself, and the dragon grabs her and throws her down to the ground so hard she hits the top of this mountain and is split right in half. Right, so she like dies on this mountainside, but both of her halves come back as wolves. Okay, and these are the twin wolves, the guardians of mankind. Okay, and Hildir is the father of mankind. So he slept with all 13 sisters, and gave and they each gave rise to one of the 13 all 13 tribes of man, and then the 13 tribes of man leave Mount Nistor and spread out into the world. And each of them, and this is where this was the cool part. Okay, so each of the 13 sisters has a different personality, a different nature altogether, right? Since they're the mothers of each of those tribes, each of those tribes carry with them like the mentality of their mother. Okay, they're all tied together by the father, but they carry the mentality of their mother with them. Okay, so each of the tribes of man are just a little bit different for this. Like they conceive of the world differently, a little bit differently. Each of the tribes do. So you have some that are bound by honor, and some that don't care about honor at all, but are bound by other things, whatever.
I love that.
So
Yeah, it's and I have the pendulum swings too. So the 13 gives me 6, 6, and 1, and the maiden of justice sits on top, right? And the tribe of man that she gave birth to arise in Tadavia, and they give rise to the greatest kingdom with the books of laws and all that kind of stuff. But all the sisters, like the pendulum swings right and left to the sister who's really just gives everything to everyone, will sacrifice herself for anything. And then there's the other sister on the other end of the spectrum is like, no, I'm taking it all. So I don't know. So the 13 Devi inspired that whole thing for man. That's one of the things I'm happiest with.
So I have a question. I don't remember the question, so that was a really long answer. So, which is good. I learned a lot. But
proudest piece of world building you've ever content you've ever created. World building, or what was it? I forget.
Yeah, like the piece of world building or lore or something that you've written for a game that you're the most proud of, character or from a CK GM perspective.
Well, I'll go. This is something I did a long time ago when I was growing up as a kid. We were, in the middle of AD&D, right? And we'd been on Greyhawk for a long time. Forgotten Realms hadn't come out yet, and we wanted to do our own world, right? So I've told people about this before. It's nothing really that spectacular, but I was pretty proud of it, right? So
That's what matters.
Yeah, we took a piece of poster board, a big giant piece of it. There was about probably 6 or 8 of us, probably about 8 of us in the group at the time, hanging out all the time. We were going to high school and stuff, so it was. And we passed that poster board around until the whole poster board was filled out with this world that we all took pieces and just drew. But like while we were just standing around, not like for days concentrating. We were just like, oh. And once we got it built, we went back through the deities and demigods, and we literally found a spot for each one of those pantheons. And wherever the pantheon was, we developed a culture around that like it was, right? And then we added in some stuff that didn't make any sense to just top it off on the top. Like we created a whole area for the Tarask, that was just this big area that was wasteland, and had no connection with these demigods, but it was ours. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think some Lord of the Rings even ended up in there and some other shit too. So, but it was cool, and we played on that for several years until Forgotten Realms came out. So, and we moved on to it. We
then
moved
you
on to
moved
the
to-
settings. Well, we did for the early version of it because it was a lot
Yeah.
less. It was a lot different back then, than it is now. But
Yeah.
good one. Probably my favorite setting of all time is the known world that you can find in Swords and Chaos. Anyway, just throwing that out there. Anyway, that's my answer for that. And I think we got one left for Jeremy, and then Grace, you got to answer your own question.
I don't know. Everything I read is just kind of crap.
Oh, please. We all know that's not true.
No, it's look, if I got a deadline, I'm just gonna write something.
Really? Hey, Twisted Dice.
He laughs because he knows it's true.
I just write super detailed modules on the fly with like really tight deadlines, and it's basically bullshit.
I wrote a whole game. It's not a big deal.
Whatever.
Okay, in Swords and Chaos, there's two things that I can point to that I'm like, I really like these. I like everything that I put into Swords of Chaos. I had better. I'm the only one who wrote it. It'd be really weird if there was parts where I'm like, this ain't it. But there's two parts that I think I'm like, these are actually, of the ideas that are in here, these are probably the strongest for me. Are the idea of the Court of Chaos and what spells are. And those are two completely different things, but they're kind of related. I kind of went back to like an older school interpretation of alignment, which is where it's more like your allegiance to a side in a cosmic struggle. And there's only 3 alignments: law, chaos, and neutrality. On the law side, in this setting, law has basically lost or has fought to such a stalemate that they have had to withdraw, and they're no longer really contactable. There's only one figure, and they're very, very distant. And so chaos has kind of been allowed to enjoy kind of dominion over this world as much as they are allowed to interfere. There's certain edicts which prevent them from directly interfering very much, partially because law still exists and hasn't been totally destroyed. But I personify the forces of chaos in this council of 10 nearly all powerful sort of deific beings that are just super exaggerated, ridiculous characters that are kind of like it's like a big awkward Thanksgiving dinner where they're all sitting around arguing with each other constantly. And they're all supremely powerful and they all hate each other, but they're all stuck together. And no
kidding. I almost thought we was listening to a Moorcock novel for just a second.
Look, it's not an original. It's a derivative idea. I acknowledge that,
but it's cool. Still cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like their designs and who they are and their backstory. Some of them are blood related. Some of them are married, and some of them are older than time itself. One of them kind of was like the first and kind of gathered these disparate beings from other planes of reality together. And he's like, I saw the birth of this universe, and I will be here to see it fade out into the haze of grayness. I had a lot of fun writing those characters.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are based on like kind of like Moloch and Baal and Beelzebub and those kind of invoking those kinds of names.
Yeah, Moloch. I cannot think of his name. I just got through reading like the last part of that where he goes like into the future or World War II. That really threw me for a loop, but we won't get into that now.
Anyway. Oh, in
part 3 of the saga. I was like, what in the hell is going on? But anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It was cool though.
And then the other thing is how spells work. So spells in my setting are actually demons. They are demons. They are demons created by the Court of Chaos. They are servants of the Court of Chaos. They don't have a physical form, but casters can channel them and physically bind their power into their mind. They can etch their shape into their gray matter. for a temporary time. When they cast the spell, the force of that binding being released is what causes the spell to go off, but it also it completely rips that memory out.
Right.
And so that's why sorcery is inherently chaotic, and why if you practice sorcery for too long, you will inevitably descend into madness or become
Right. Wipe your
a
brain
chaos
clean.
spawn,
Yeah.
become a chaos spawn subhuman,
Right.
or a mutant.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
you know,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love subhumans. I think they're really cool. I saw one earlier today do a really weird dance or stance. But anyway, that's
I have a
sort of another
name.
time.
You know, that's a cool
Talking about
point.
Nick.
I wasn't gonna
Wow.
say it. He's
Wow.
not listening anyway. I probably lost that joke. But anyway,
So that's a cool concept too. If you think about it,
I love it.
Yeah. So the
really cool.
wizard, like, okay, so wizards are typically considered portrayed
He's still
egomaniacs, you know, power hungry and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, who would study that stuff or even go into like wizardry or whatever, casting spells, if you know that the end game is madness and becoming a subhuman? But
someone who's really full of themselves.
Someone who's you would have to be full of yourself to think, I can overcome this crap.
And there is, in the setting, there are no clerical or holy spells. There are priests, but they pull from the same well of power.
Yeah.
There's one.
That's a good idea. Yes, no, that's a really consistent, good, clean idea. Yeah.
There's one spell to alleviate the buildup of chaos and madness, and it doesn't destroy it. It just lets you put it in something else.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's usually, it has to be a bloodstone of a certain size, and you're supposed to bury it, and then it slowly bleeds out over time. But that creates more chaos in the world because it infects the wildlife. So it kind of fucks over your natural surroundings. Or you can throw it like a grenade, and then it's really bad. And that's when we get into schlock. But you know.
I read a book one time. I was a kid, and I don't even remember the name of the book. But in that book, wizards would carry on small jars. And when they were going to cast a spell, they would release the spell. It was like they had something like a creature or something. I can't remember. I don't want to say demon, but it was something. When Jeremy said that, it made me think of it. And that's how they kept their spells. When they would run out of spells, they would have to go research more spells, which meant going and capturing these creatures. So they just couldn't. It wasn't like Vancian magic or whatever. You know, it was very limited in the story that I was reading. You know?
Yes. So that Eat to Surf very nicely prompting me. So that's you can find that in Swords and Chaos. Which is my game. You can get it on Blackspire. You can get the PDF on blackspirefantasy.com, or you can get it print on demand on DriveThruRPG.
Yeah, put that link in there. I need to update that also, that command, so it'll both.
Yeah, give me a moment so I can pull it up. It's based on the Siege engine.
It's at the top of my pile.
The Tower of Tome says, or someone who hopes magic can save a loved one, a child, for example, even at such a high price. Interesting. Oh, he was commenting on sounds like a magic is a tool for revenge. Yeah. That's some good ways of looking at it, guys. Yeah, world building on Discord would be cool. We should do that one night. That would be fun, Venom.
Yeah,
sorry.
I would love that.
Because I really wanted an in-universe explanation for why. Because everybody knows what Vancian magic is, but you can't just. You can just say that, this is Vancian magic, but it's nice to have an explanation for why.
Right, because I say it because I only know that's the main magic system that's been around forever, right? So, you know, in the biggest game there is, so, you know, kind of thing. But you know what we have?
You're on fire.
You know we have it covered.
Based on the Siege engine, what's that?
Glad you asked.
The Siege engine?
Yeah, Dave, tell us about the Siege engine.
Yeah.
You created it.
Huh?
Explain the Siege engine. What is it?
Dude, you know I can't explain that crap.
I wrote it.
What
So
now?
it was one night. It was late.
I
was drunk.
Ever since I wrote it, I would sit there at conventions until Todd and Kent would stop me. They're like,
"It is the okay. It is the proprietary game engine of Trollord Games, used in Castles and Crusades, Amazing Adventures, Victorious, Swords and Chaos, which is not owned by Castles and Crusades, it's owned by me, and a couple other games. It's a D20 based game where higher is better, but you have a set target number based on a challenge challenge class, which is always either 12 or 18. It's adjusted by your level, whether or not a given attribute is primary or secondary, and a couple of other random modifiers. It's very, very, very easy to learn, and it governs everything about the game. You can pick it up and start running it in about 5 minutes, maybe 30, realistically, once you've made a character.
Yeah, I think realistically 30. So, I think the siege in the simplest terms is that, like, I don't even know where to begin. It's an attribute based, check system.
It's not skill based. It's attribute based.
It's attribute based, right?
So there's no perception, investigation, like.
No, there's not a huge
skills.
list of skills. Each class has their own things that they can do or that they're really good at, so they get bonuses.
And it's extremely elastic and can accommodate as much or as little modification as you want to put in it.
It's very malleable.
It's not so mechanically complex with tight sequences that you
locked
can't
in.
insert something in there to make it your own.
Yeah.
We don't even define damages, like damage types.
Like when homebrewing something like this is an older game now, but when homebrewing something like 3.5, you can very quickly sequence break how things are supposed to work, and it suddenly falls apart.
Yeah,
that sort of thing doesn't happen here. And that like with stuff like bounded accuracy too. That can kind of happen in 5th edition. It's not really an issue here.
It's easy to break 5e.
It's easy to break 5th edition. You can have a really, really, really hard time breaking Castles and Crusades.
Yes, you would almost have to try to break that.
If you want to, you can, but like you're not going to accidentally break it.
No.
Yeah, no. There's like your rollover from like small changes. So, for example, basically every character is assigned prime attributes, and the other attributes are secondary. Whenever you're attempting to do something, it'll be related to an attribute, right? If it's a prime attribute, you succeed on 12 or better. If it's a secondary attribute, it's 18 or better. Or it's like 18 is your target number. If it's a prime attribute, just add 6. If it's a secondary attribute, add whatever that number is.
No. If it's a prime, you wouldn't add anything. If it's if it's a prime, you'd add 6. If it's a secondary,
you add nothing.
And that's if you're using rules as written. A lot of people.
Okay, that's rules. That's rules as written.
As written, you don't add anything.
Yeah.
Right.
We're confusing ourselves. Don't worry about it. Trust us.
Yes. No. And so we really actually need. I think it would be easier to explain it
with a starter
12,
kit.
18, it just is the 18 is the target number. Prime attribute gets 6. But anyway, every attribute is associated with an action minus combat. Okay. So anytime you take an action, say like running upstairs, if there's a chance of failure that impacts the game. Running upstairs, jumping a chasm, trying to convince someone to do something for you, whatever. It's associated with an attribute. And if we don't define it in the game, what attribute it's associated with, it's up to the CK. We discussed this last week, didn't we? Like attributes associated with, And
yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you can choose different attributes, not like what's like sort of standard out there. What was the one that we had? All of us had a different attribute for.
I forgot what we talked about.
Yeah, I can't remember the situation, but it was like it could be a con check, it could be a dex check. It would just depend on how the CK and the player want to rule that particular situation.
Right.
And then so interesting. So a lot of people like the skills, right? They like to add skills to a game. So it's really simple to add skills to a game. That's just how much granularity you want,
Are there skills in the CKG?
There's skills in the CKG, but
they need to revisit.
I would like to revisit them, but they're not. It's not necessary to revisit.
They're good. They're just second. I use them, but I mean they're pretty simple. I saw that.
It was initiative. It was initiative.
Yeah,
initiative. That was
Manfred von Beck is on it.
Yes.
Tower of Tomes asked a question about Arid being the main world.
He reads Moorcock.
The Tower of Tomes says, "Is Arid the main world for CNC?" It is one of our main products, and a lot of our adventures take place in Arid, but it is definitely an agnostic world as far as systems go.
I run nothing in Arid.
Yeah, he said he
So
runs
you
nothing in
can-
there. So
Yeah, so you can do it either way.
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah.
Oh, Grace, you answered. I'm
We've
sorry.
No, you're good. I just
I
hopped
just
in
realized
there.
that. I'm glad you did. I didn't see. Let's see. We had. someone can
Our
take a look at it.
friend, I
Okay.
forget, I think it was Ryan, somebody. Just
There's Rick
Twisted
rolling in.
Dicelingers. Twisted Dicelinger is asking one or many pantheons. What do you
Many.
prefer?
Many.
Many. Let's go.
Yeah,
Or
'cause if you just do one, then it's just Conan the
Or-
Destroyer.
or you do one with extreme inaccuracy and interpretation on the part of mortals,
Yeah.
Yes.
where there are vastly different names and vastly different interpretations on what they want. And of course, in order to do that and make it work, you're going to need to get rid of spells. Like, what's the one that lets you directly communicate with your god? There's a spell there's a commune. You got to get rid of spells like that. So you got to introduce a lot of guesswork.
Mhm.
So
So
I just introduced Inza and Allfather into Terminus, which is our Wednesday 5e game.
right,
Oh,
that's cool.
nice.
But I think only Nick is the one who has picked up on it, I think.
They'll have to read.
Yeah.
I
Let's
go
see.
for one pantheon.
did you see DM John?
But it's
yeah,
it's
DM's
as Jeremy
message?
suggested. There's like I said, Hilder's the father, of man, but he goes by different names: Hilder, Heimdall, Ichthar, and a few other names, right?
right.
Based on locality, they just have a different name for them.
That's what we did too with our Pantheon for Terminus.
Yeah, and then there's localized sort of powers that live in certain areas only, or
So we have about 15 minutes left, and we still haven't answered the question pinned in the channel ourselves. So perhaps we should
True.
take a turn
Some
for
of us
to
did.
answer. Maybe.
I've got an
Maybe.
answer.
Okay.
So my
Grace?
favorite place, I have two favorite places. One is a specific lake that's in Michigan. It's one of the cleanest lakes in Michigan.
Which one?
I don't want to say it because
Yes.
then everyone's going to go there.
yes,
But
don't. I was going to say,
I might
but
know
it's
it.
excellent. You might know it. I'll message it to you.
So we're not going to say. I thought you were supposed to tell us the place.
no.
We're gonna dox a lake.
It's a lake.
Okay, I'm
It's a lake
saying
in Michigan,
cool.
and
I have
then
a favorite lake in Michigan.
also Greece. Oops, specifically the Greek island of Thassos. Ah, shit, my camera's going nuts. Thassos. Oh, there it is. Thassos is a very special
Okay,
island.
I have
in Greece.
not been to that lake.
You should. It's excellent. But Thassos kind of sits in a triangle in Greece with two other points that are spiritually and culturally significant. One is Mount Athos to the north. That is like a place of tremendous Christian significance. To this day, it's like a temple there. And the last woman to set foot on Mount Athos, according to legend, was the Virgin Mary. They don't allow like female goats or anything up there. It's just a place of like worship, and all the men in Greece are supposed to go and do stuff, but whatever. Then you have Samothraki, which according to legend is like
I know that island.
Yeah, it's like the dive bar of the
Yeah.
gods.
Samothraki.
Yeah, this goes into the multi-pantheon thing because it was thought that not only the Greek gods would gather there to just hang out, but also the Egyptian gods would gather there, the Norse gods would gather there. The gods would just go and chill. And apparently, if you go there, I have it on good authority that it feels very like strange to be there. And anyone that's been somewhere that's strange to be will know exactly the feeling that I'm talking about. But Thassos sits in a triangle with these two places. And to this day, I was warned before I ever went to Thassos. I was very lucky to go for like a writing
Oh, that's
retreat.
great. Yeah.
I studied creative writing there. It was awesome.
Nice.
I was warned about the dreams I would have.
Really?
I didn't believe it, but the most vivid, absurd, crazy dreams ever.
Wow.
Okay, text me the name of that island because that sounds
Yeah.
like a trip.
Yeah, put it in our chat. Put it in our
Let's all
chat.
go.
There's a series
I'd
of
be down for it.
novels by Talbot Mundy, who is long dead. But he wrote oh no, that island. Who had had a protagonist called Tros of Samathraki.
Mm.
And the novels are billed as fantasy, but so far there's no fantasy in them. I'm like 300 pages in. But it's about this Greek guy going into the British Isles when Caesar's trying to get in there and just messing with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna back Grace 100% up on this, not telling where your favorite place is. I'm not gonna give
Yeah,
the name
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I don't want anyone to go there.
But describe it.
As
If
you're,
you
it's hard to describe. It's the color of the sky in evening. It's on a river, a huge river. It's very remote. And on one side of the river, it's like flat floodplain jungle. And on the other side, it's mountains, but not like the huge mountains we have like in the West, right? These are the, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like the stacks, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe
Like on the
1,000
West Coast.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like they're like buttes covered in jungle, right?
Oh, cool.
So they
Yeah.
just form these really cool. You can find the same sort of formations down in southern Arkansas, down in the Caddo region.
So
And
we're
That's neat.
in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, somewhere in Southeast.
Okay.
The color of the sky at night is just it's I don't know, I can't even describe the color of the sky at night or
Love shit
just
like
before
that.
the sun sets, and it's just a magical place to sit, and everyone there is so freaking calm and relaxed and quiet. It's like anyway, but yes, yeah, that it helped me to it inspired a lot of thinking of the way gods interact with the world.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, that little spot. There's another spot too that that's a magical moment.
What about you, Jeremy? You got anywhere that you've ever brought into a game or just somewhere you love in the world? Something that's really just can't get enough of it?
And it can be your bathroom.
It's not my bathroom. If you drew like a 75-mile radius circle around Sedona, Arizona, basically everything in there.
Arizona is excellent.
Yeah.
Of course, Sedona's. I can say Sedona because Sedona's been ruined by tourism.
Yeah.
But it's even like walking around that town is still really weird because it's just like these amazing rock formations just in the middle of this town.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre. And just like going outside of town, like leave the tourist spots and like just like talk to people and like talk to them about like interesting stuff. You'll learn about like abandoned mines and like supposedly haunted places. And I heard some story about a mine that had a silver mine that had a TNT explosion in it, and supposedly it's haunted by the ghosts of the miners. I was like, oh, I'm using that in an adventure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
Silver
cool.
golems just like
Yeah.
coming out of the mine.
There's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Tucson's great.
Yeah.
In Paros Island, there is a cave called the Cave of Pan, and so called because Pan was very like mischievous sort of god in Greek mythology, and they rumored there were so many deaths in this cave that they said it was because Pan was like knocking stones loose and crushing people. And so naturally we did what any sensible like group of 30 something people do, which is go into the cave and cram into like the tiniest little part of it and chill.
Yeah, and chill.
Horrific, horrendous, awful.
Yeah.
But then we came out the other side, and it was like this mountainside covered with purple thyme and the wind picking up,
Mm.
and you could just
Oh.
smell it,
Yeah.
and it was worth
Yeah,
feeling
that was
absolutely
good.
awful in a cursed cave.
Yeah.
That's for sure haunted.
Yeah, I can't do the cave thing much anymore.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I had a friend.
Go
You know, I had a friend who he thought he was pranking me, so to speak. We were in these fracture caves, right? So fracture caves aren't like normal caves. It's where the rock just cracks apart and you just follow these fractures into the mountain.
Ugh.
And I'm crawling there on my belly, and
Oh no.
I know, yeah. I reach a dead end, and it's James Bookout. He's behind me, and I said, James, I'm at a dead end. We need to turn around. He says, no. I said, yeah, dude, turn around. Let's go back. I'm at a dead end. And he's like, no, I'm not moving. You're going to stay there for a while. And I'm like, turn around. So he thought it was funny to be like, no, until I panicked. And then I started kicking him in the face.
Yeah.
To make him turn around.
Ooh. The second someone does something like that to me, that friendship is over.
It's not funny.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very funny. I had a hard time with caves ever since.
Oh,
Yeah. God.
speaking of caves, it's very touristy, but like Mammoth Caves or any of those, kind of, just go to a cave. People.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Go in a cave,
A
And the
cave that
big
you don't
caves
have to
are good.
squeeze into.
Yeah,
especially a cave that you can go in and then make it dark.
Right.
Because then you're going to be a lot harder on your characters when they're like, "Oh, I should be able to know where that is in the dark." It's like, no, you have no.
No, if you haven't been in a cave, like a cave, and lights out, you do not know what darkness is. That is that is
It's
dark.
like, but I was just there. I was just like 3 steps. No.
Yeah.
I know that Chuck
don't
still has
see
to
shit.
answer. I've got a story from Nick to share if there's time after Chuck answers.
Yeah, I'll
Alright,
give you
Chuck,
my
go ahead.
answer. Here's what we'll do. We're running out of time, so I'll give my answer.
Yeah.
I want Grace to share a story while I set up the giveaways. So if you've not entered a giveaway, please give us a follow, exclamation point raffle. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you have to come over here and force you to enter. We don't have a way to do multi-platforms for that, but you're welcome to come over and at least follow us and join in on it. And again, like I said, we'll be giving away something for everybody here in just a few minutes that hung out to the end of the stream, which we really appreciate you guys for coming out and hanging out with us and supporting us and everything else. So my favorite place, or one of the places that I can definitely identify with, is the Olympian Peninsula out in Washington. I used to live out there, and it's one of the only, if not the only, rainforest in North America. And I used to go out there and take hikes. I would take hikes and just walk through it, and be by
I
myself.
got a buddy that lives out there.
They got a lot of old growth trees in there. It's beautiful. Hot springs bowling up out of the ground, and I've used it a few times in my adventures in Inclunate. Actually, I will admit, because that's really the only place I've ever been that's been very tropical like that, other than like say Florida. You know what I mean? So, but that's very special to me. And the other place I ever did was, so I ran an adventure. I wrote an adventure once for my group, and we ran it, and it was based roughly off. Them guys were high level. They were evil. It's an evil campaign, and they wanted somewhere really cool to go. And I built the ideal of an island in the middle of a river that they had to basically take this island over that was actually had people on it, and these were very evil men, right? And they had to basically go in, and I gave them a bunch of challenges, so they just couldn't come in and do it like using mass force, right, or magic. And they had to win the people over to actually for the island to accept them. But the island was modeled after Jackson's Island in the Mississippi River that was in Hannibal, Missouri. It's the one from Huckleberry Finn, and with Thomas Sawyer.
Oh yeah.
That's where I got that from. Yeah, so kind of wild, Okay, so I think Nick's will tell a story. Grace, I get sent you a message in Skype, and have at it while I go do my thing.
Yeah, so I brought Nick in to tell the story firsthand.
My cave
Oh.
story.
Yeah,
You
your
shut-
cave story. Hang on. I'm actually gonna just
no,
go-
a cave story.
You guys are gonna hate this. Here.
Oh,
I wasn't warned.
My cave story. Sorry, I didn't.
No, you shaved. You look great. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it was actually a mistake. I was trying to trim my mustache and I fucked it up, and I was like, well.
That sounds like me.
It happens to the
Can I
best
swear
of
here?
us.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
Fuck you.
Okay. Sick. There's not a lot to the story. There was this cave deep underneath just like a subdivision in like the Knoxville, Tennessee area. And it's like one of these like affairs where there's like a couple like small rooms and then you squeeze through like a little tunnel and you're in this huge system. Um, and there's like a river that runs through it and all kinds of stuff. It was really neat. And so like we are just going back through this as far as we can. We're probably like an hour and a half in. And we get back as far as we can go, I think. And we turn off the lights and we're just like sitting there hanging out, doing cave stuff. And there's just there's just this big like splash.
Oh shit.
And so we like turn on all the lights and we're like, oh shit, what was that? And we shine down. So like where we're at this part of the cave, the like river part is like, it's like 15 feet kind of below this like I guess kind of like a ledge that we're on that wraps around. And there's just two dudes. There's just two guys down in there.
In the cave?
In the cave. And like
Wait.
we had been in here. Like
crazy.
Maybe there's another way we just don't know about, but they're like, hey guys, like come on in. The water's great. And I was
Do they have stuff with them, or are they like naked cave people?
They were just like a couple of dudes like swimming
Just
in
a couple
cave,
of dudes broing out in a cave.
in pitch darkness. I mean like
Do they have like bow-legged frog legs?
I couldn't see their legs. Maybe. I
They have,
mean,
like-
it's a non-zero chance they were some kind of cave demon. Like, because
Well, yeah, you would have seen the lights. If they,
yeah, if they had lights, we would have seen them coming into this like chamber. So
I cannot fathom swimming in an underground river
no,
in darkness without a light, because that water is going somewhere.
yeah. I still have no idea. We just got the hell out. We were like, nah, we're good.
yeah, I'd be like bugging it. I'd be like, I'm out of this. Yep.
So
That's like when you like spider walks up the wall.
yeah.
He's like,
Uh,
swim with us.
It was not my last time in a cave though, so it didn't dissuade me.
It did dissuade me. That's awesome.
I was just thinking of Chuds.
Dude, that is freaky, man.
Isn't that awful?
Yes. No, that would freak me
Worst
out.
thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Those are not people.
They're demons.
Yeah.
They're wearing like loincloths.
If you're like some guy that's like swimming in a cave in pitch darkness with your buddy for some reason, and like two people come up on the ledge above you, you aren't like, hey, come in.
No.
It maybe start with like, hey guys, how's the walk? Like, we're pretty far into this cave system. We're like an hour in.
You'd expect it'd be like, oh, thank God, we lost our lights. There's something.
And all of our clothes, and we're all wet. Oh God.
We've been in here a week.
I'm sorry. If you could tell Nick, if,
fell into the river.
if that would have happened to me, we would have just turned and left. He wouldn't even respond. I said, let's get out. We'd have left, man. It'd have been out of here.
Chuck
You know, that's
says
some
that he
cult
would've
shit
been-
going on right there.
He would have
Yeah.
skedaddled immediately.
Oh my
No
God.
conversation.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do the
Truly
giveaways
so.
now. So if you've not, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. We're gonna move it over. Once I've done the giveaways, I will post something in the chat for everybody can go to the store and grab for free. Grace, check Skype for me if you would, and I'll go through these giveaways. All right, I'm gonna close these out. All right, there we go. Free stuffs, and let's see. We're gonna pick our first winner. This is for a $15 gift code. It is MJ Cook. There you go, Mr. Cook. Congrats. And then secondly will be for the $25 would be Net Navi. There you go. All right, congratulations. Just go to Discord and hit up our Obsidian Risk, our community team member there, and he will take care of you. And now for everyone else, let me get this set up. Anything else you guys want to say real quick while I find this giveaway for them?
No, someone said don't let Kent watch this video about the
Cave
rivers
people.
underground. He has another way of killing people.
With
Oh,
rivers.
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
We wouldn't even get underground. He'd be bored and kill us by then.
He's proficient in river damage.
Yes,
No,
he can.
no, he suffers under the delusion that rivers are made of cement.
Right.
Mm,
What?
I see. They can be if you
Yeah.
have a lot of really wet cement.
A lot of cement bags. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I sent you a reply to. All right, so let me look this up here and see what I'm here. Right there. Okay. So for the next 30 minutes, you can use this code and then it'll shut down. So grab it while you can if you don't already have it. We're gonna give away
copies of yeah.
no, not
I don't know
Capitals
what
of
that
Castle's
one.
Eye gig.
I wish.
That's hilarious. Anyway, that's a funny story behind that. That's y'all wouldn't anything about. Anyway, so you can go over and grab this, use this coupon here, and go grab your copy of Dwarven Glory. That's one of my favorite adventures. I absolutely love it. I've ran it a few times. It's PDF. Go get you a copy of it, and
That's the one where all the dwarves kill all the players and then eat their bones. Right?
don't ruin it. They could be. Oh wait,
I-
they're going to be running it, so they'll read it anyway. So don't steal from us, please. That's hilarious. Oh lordy.
Anything can be free if you steal it.
Do what?
Well, yeah,
Anything
like,
can be free if you
Oh
steal it.
yeah, well that's true. That's one way of looking at it. Also, you could look at it as a free ticket to jail. Well, maybe if you get caught, but then you might not get caught. You could probably steal their whole life and have millions of
But then I get free. Then I get 3 square meals a day and a free bed.
I know. I'm all into the yeah.
You're all there for it, are you? I see.
I didn't realize in Japan mentioning that for a lot of elderly people they'll commit small crimes like petty crimes so then you get sent to jail.
Yeah,
Because
it's real.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. So that's sort of cool. I mean, sort of.
I have heard
All
of
right,
that.
so let me get back over here. I'm gonna set this up parade and we'll get out of here. We want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. It was awesome. I heard some really cool stuff in chat. You guys got some really cool things to say always, but I liked all the cool ideas earlier and also the Pantheon stuff. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. A lot of fun.
I want to maybe take one of these upcoming Monday streams, and instead of reading, maybe we can just talk world building.
Yeah,
That's
if
That's
you
an
get
idea
Up,
we've
you
been
ever get
talking-
up early, you can get up on Wednesday morning, get on the stream with me. It'd be awesome too.
Well,
means you
what
waking
time?
up
It's
early.
8:30.
Yeah.
Well, Davis gets on there sometimes. Yeah, so 8:30 Central. That's actually not too early.
I'm already at work by 8:30.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'll
That's
I'll
right.
do that.
Yeah. Now I had suggested to Chuck that last week you mentioned that game. I haven't opened.
Yeah, I looked at it too. It looked really cool, dude. I meant to talk to you.
Oh,
about that.
Dawn of Worlds.
Yeah, Dawn of Worlds.
Yeah,
So
we were
I
thinking about
haven't
playing
opened-
it.
I
Yeah.
haven't opened on the
You
computer.
can play it for free. It's like a 3-page PDF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I was
excellent.
thinking that we could actually do that online during the world building session.
I
I
thought
would
about
die
it.
to
It's
do
real-
that with you all. That would be so much fun.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
would be a lot of fun. So
Let's plan it for Wednesday, as long as Steve's okay.
yeah,
with it.
What's
Rick
today?
Montel can't make Wednesday.
Well, Rick. What are we gonna do with you? That's not true, anyways. But anyway, whatever.
Rick, what's the name of that restaurant? You know the one.
There's a lot of restaurants out there, Davis.
Yeah, which restaurant? Oh wait, you
The
talking about the
one.
Jungle Gym one? The market?
Rainforest
no.
Cafe.
There's a restaurant.
Rainforest Cafe. There's
Oh,
still like 7
Lambert's.
of those
Oh my
out
God, Lambert's. I'd love to go
Yeah.
to Lambert's. Y'all post those damn pictures over the years. It just kills me. They come out there and they throw biscuits at you. Isn't that right? Am I right about that?
What?
Don't
Oh
they
my
throw
God, the
biscuits at
food
you?
is really good. Yeah, they'll throw biscuits at you. Like,
Where is this? What is
Yeah.
this?
oh,
Lambert's.
Rick, where do you live? What's the name of
Rolls.
that?
I'm
It's-
sorry, Sparky. Rolls. Forgive me.
Yeah, they're rolls.
Bread
I don't know.
product. Is that better?
In the middle of nowhere, Illinois?
Yeah.
But,
That's the worst part of
Lambert's-
Illinois.
yeah. It's a good restaurant. Anyway,
All right, we're gonna raid
Throw
into
roll for you.
our buddy Eat the Surf. He is
the
live right
food's
now.
good, and they give you so much food. If you could put it in a bag, you could live a year off of that food. I swear to
Oh,
God, each
they should-
meal is 55,000 calories. Anyway,
Can't argue with that.
no.
Nope.
I
And-
would wish that they would call their rolls hurls instead of rolls. I think that'd be
Hurls?
better.
That
Yeah. Yeah,
That's-
because you don't roll them, you hurl
you
them.
know, hurl them.
What about
Oh my
throws?
gosh, really? You guys, yeah, cracking me up. All right, so let me find. Wow, I put that in chat. Chat is really going fast here at the end. Hold on just a
I
second.
think that we should have a troll con in Sykeston at Lambert's.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Yes.
I think that would be fun.
Be a lot of fun. We
You know
roll in on.
something? Just while we're like still talking shit while getting ready for this raid, my great grandparents would throw food fights. They lived in an area where like everyone would take their meals together in this like area. It's actually on this lake. And everyone would gather together in the dining hall for like all their meals. And they would initiate food fights with people. Constantly. Yeah.
On that note, it's getting ready to cut out on me here, but come by and see us this
Were your
weekend.
great grandparents
We've
clowns?
got games on
What?
Saturday. We've got game on Sunday. Come by and see us. And
Look
check
at
out
what
the
they
schedule
produced.
What did they
He's
work
right
in a
here.
circus or something?
Have a good
Like,
day.
What the hell?
Thank you.
Bye, friend.
See you later. They're going to talk for 5 hours. Bye.